And so as an extension of your home, just like you would want to have a gun for self-defense at home and on your person while you're out and about, you want to have a readily available gun for self-defense while you're in the vehicle. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Anthony and we talk about all things preparedness, training, and education. We're out on the range today. If you didn't see the last video, that was 4 reasons to carry a rifle in your truck. We were in the Land Cruiser. We're in the Land Cruiser again today and we're out on the range and we're talking all about concealed carry, specifically 7 mistakes or 7 deadly mistakes that you don't want to make while carrying in the car. So this is going to be your whole primer on concealed carry in the vehicle. If you didn't see that last video, I'm going to link it down in the description below along with a couple other videos. If you turn around right here, we're going to be shooting steel. And this steel is about 15 yards from the Land Cruiser. And that's my target. Anything inside and outside of 15 yards, that would be for a vehicle confrontation. By the way, if you need steel targets, shootsteel.com, and my daughter, she customized these for me. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And that's what we want to do, is hit the bell with the gun. So let's go to the vehicle and we'll get right into it. By the way, if you stick with me till the end of the video, in that last video I showed you a tailgate modification that I was going to keep my AR-15 and some body armor with, and I've finished that project, so I'm going to show you that finished project. So stick with me till the end of the video and you'll be able to see that completed deal in my tailgate. So this is 7 do's and don'ts, or 7 deadly mistakes you don't want to make while carrying in the vehicle. And I'm just going to show you real life what I do. Normally when I get into the vehicle, I just take off my holstered gun. It's in an IWB, obviously, because I've been either leaving the house or out somewhere. And when I get in the vehicle, if I'm not going just down the street, I put it in this car holster right there. By the way, links to everything in this video are down in the description below, because I know you're going to ask about the car holster and the IWB. Anything that I use that is available that I can link according to YouTube, I will link down in the description below and the first comment. But anyway, I put it securely in the holster there, and then I take my extra mag and I put that down in the door, right in this compartment with my holster. And then I get in the vehicle and I am ready to go. All right, before we get into anything else, I want to address right off the bat what's going to be asked in the comments is, hey Anthony, why don't you just keep your gun on your person? For several different reasons, I don't keep my gun on my waistline. I put it in an off-body holster. The first reason is for safety. I have a better chance, statistically speaking, of getting in an accident, and I carry appendix. And so if I have this seatbelt on around my waist, granted, I could put it down below the muzzle because this is a Glock 43X, but it still catches right where I need it to be. And then it has to be over my t-shirt. So some people would say, okay, well, you can put your t-shirt out. Yep. I still have it pushing on the majority of the gun, if you can see that. And so if I get in an accident, my seatbelt is proper, my gun is proper, then it's going to crush that gun into my abdomen. It's going to cause unnecessary damage and unnecessary bruising and discomfort. Also, from a practical standpoint, it's very uncomfortable to carry a gun in the car. From another practical standpoint, if you carry strong side hip, the butt of the gun is always digging into your t-shirt and into your car, into the material on your car. I've actually ripped older leather in another vehicle from that. I've rubbed through constant t-shirts. So it's not practical from that standpoint. It's not safe from that standpoint. And the other reason is, and probably the most important reason is, it's harder and less efficient of movement to get to it. So what do I mean by that? If I actually get in the vehicle and I have the gun positioned there, I need, what I'm used to when I'm out of the car anyway, is drawing the gun like that. And then it becomes a safety issue. This gun is clear, clear, and clear, just so you know. So I'm flagging myself. But it becomes a safety issue for me in the appendix carry position. because now I am directly violating the gun safety rules by pointing this at my femoral artery and other important regions of my body. And so it's a very unsafe practice to keep it holstered on my person in the appendix position. And that's why I take it off my body, is because it's not practical, it's not comfortable, and ultimately it's not safe from an accident standpoint and from breaking the universal firearms safety rules. And so that's why I take it off my person. So you may say, Anthony, I carry strong side hip, so I don't have that problem that appendix carry people have. Yes, I understand that. If that works for you, great, do that. Do that. Let me know in the comments below. But even carrying strong side hip, like I said, it's going to eat into the cushion of the car. It's going to eat into your t-shirt. And it's less efficient of a movement than simply being indexed and holstered down by your leg. So hopefully that helps clear that up. I still know it's going to be mentioned in the comments below, and that's fine. Please mention in the comments below. Let me know what you do. It's both a science and an art, concealed carry in the vehicle, concealed carry in general. So I am interested to know what you do. By the way, you know, the whole reason we're doing this video is because 911 is not going to make it to you in time. You are your first line of defense. And so if you want to support this channel, get you one of these cool t-shirts. They're down in the description below, or I'm going to link it right up here. And that's the best way that you can support us so that we can bring you more great content like this. So right into the deadly mistakes. Deadly mistake number one is not carrying a gun, period. Some people think they can just go for a ride, get in the car, go out in town, and they don't need a gun. Well, the car is an extension of your home. At least most states that are not communist states or California, they treat it that way. And so as an extension of your home, just like you would want to have a gun for self-defense at home and on your person while you're out and about, you want to have a readily available gun for self-defense while you're in the vehicle. Right into mistake number two is people will carry a gun, but they won't carry a loaded gun. You have to have a round chambered. It only takes a split second for someone to be on you in a parking lot situation, or even if you get stuck in a riot situation, or if you get stuck in a peaceful protest situation, if you know what I mean, you're going to want to have a loaded gun. You don't have the time, especially driving, because you have another hand consideration here, and you have a hand consideration here. And so you have to be able to multitask and be able to get to that firearm if you need it, if someone is up on your vehicle quickly. The very first thing you want to do, obviously, is get out of there if you can. But if you're forced to, if your life is in danger, in imminent danger, and you have no other choice, you want to be able to get to that firearm as quickly as possible. There's science to this, but there's also art to this, and concealed carry is both a science and an art. And so if you do something completely different, or you want to add to this content, please put it in the comments below. I love to hear about that. I try to answer all of them. I'm not able to when the comments get super huge, but I do my best to try and look at them all and answer any questions that you might have down there. All right, and that leads us into deadly mistake number three, and that is the gun is not predictably indexable, or it's not indexed properly. When you have a gun on your person inside the waistband, it's in the same position every time so that you can index your hand on that immediately, get a full firing grip, and put that gun to work if you need to. The same is true in your car, because your car is an extension of your home. You want that readily available. And so I need to be able to drive at least with one hand, if not two hands, and have that gun indexed. And so this is why I carry it in this holster down here, because I have it indexed up against my leg. I literally can feel that when my foot is on the accelerator. And then my hand doesn't need to do anything but move just a slight bit, run down my leg, and I can index that gun immediately and put it into the fight if I need to, one-handed or two-handed, in any direction out of the vehicle. And so indexing properly. Some people say, hey, I want to keep my gun on a magnet. I want to keep my gun in the center console. I want to keep my gun in the glove box, or I want to keep my gun in a bag. And so let's run through those really quickly and why those are, they could be good ideas, but they could be very bad ideas. You don't want a floating gun. All right, so if you'll come here and see in the console, and you look down in this console, if you just stash your gun down in there, you don't know what position that gun's going to be in when your hand goes to get it. Now, you can holster it. That's not a bad idea if you can holster it inside the console and it's predictable. But again, it's got several movements that you have to get to it. Versus indexing right by my leg, immediately accessible, I have to come into the console, open the console, down into the console, and I'll probably have to look because I'm not touching it with my body. And so my brain is not making the connection. So I'm probably going to have to take a glance at it. All that costs me time, and it's potentially dangerous. So if you can, and if your state allows to have it open in plain sight, I prefer holstering off body, mounted to the car in a solid mount, and we'll talk about that in a minute. That's immediately indexable by my hand, and I can get to that gun as quickly as I need to. And it's there again and again and again. It's routine. It becomes second nature. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that would be the same for the glove box. If you just throw a gun in the glove box and it's got to be in a holster, because you don't want that just running around in there unless that's the only thing in there and you know nothing's going to be introduced into the trigger guard. Still, you don't know what position that gun is going to be in. Mine won't even close with the gun in. I got so much junk in there. But you don't know what position it's going to be in. And so when you open that glove box and you go to grab it, it's going to take you extra movements. Plus, you have to reach across. Plus, you may have somebody in the passenger seat, and it may become a dangerous situation. So the glove box, you know, that's a no-no. Maybe for long-term storage in a holster, and you're not trying to access that if you need it. But if you need it rapidly, glove box is a no-no. It's not going to work. And so let's talk about the last one. A lot of people want to use bags. This is a Vertex sling bag. And let me see, I've got a holster in here somewhere. It's just a Velcroable holster, and then the compartment is Velcroable. But look, even if you can make this work, you would need to strap that bag down to the seat to keep it in the same position. Because as you're driving, this is happening, that's happening. And you have to literally almost use two hands to get to that gun, and you got to take your hand off the wheel and try and get to that gun in a bag. It's not going to happen, and it's not the most advantageous thing to do. So while bags are a great idea, and I do use an off-body bag, I don't use it for this case in the car. And so whatever you choose, again, if you have a different idea and you have a more stable idea, please put it down in the comments below. But whatever you choose, it needs to be a stable, indexable, quickly indexable option. And the only option that I have found in the last 20 years is a rigid mounted holster like that. And by the way, if you're interested in that holster, I am going to link an installation I did on that years and years ago. I will link that video in the card up above or down in the description below, and the link to that holster is in the description as well. Let's talk one other consideration, and that is the dreaded magnet. A lot of people want to use gun magnets or some fancy contraption like that. And these are great for under your desk or something stationary in the house, because they do hold, and they hold tightly. For my cameraman's sake, let me show you. Gun is unloaded. Gun is clear. And the gun is clear. Visually and physically inspected, unloaded. We're still going to keep it pointed in a safe direction. But you have that gun on a magnet and you get into an accident in a car and you're pulling some serious G's in that car, rolling over or whatever happens, just with the force of stopping forcefully, that gun is coming off of that magnet, and now you have a gun just flying around the compartment, and that's not a good situation for anybody. And so it's not the safest idea. Magnets are great for stationary places, at your office, under the desk, wherever in the house. Not a good idea in the vehicle at all. Okay, so all of that, hopefully that was helpful. All of that leads us to deadly mistake number 4, is out of reach. Another reason I have it indexable right here is because if it's out of reach, if I have to reach across my passenger, if I have to reach out of reach into the back seat, if I have to get out and go to the back of the vehicle, it's no good. You need that quickly available, and you need it right within close proximity to you. So deadly mistake number 4 is not keeping that gun close to you while you're in the vehicle. So you want it sturdy, you want it indexable, and you want it close to you. Let's go on to deadly mistake number 5, and that's not accident proof. Just like we talked about the magnet, any situation that you have carrying that gun has to be accident proof. Whether it is in the console, it needs to be secure in a holster. Whether it's in the glove box, it needs to be secured in a holster. And whether it is down here, it needs to be secured in a holster, or on your person, it needs to be secure in a holster. So it needs to be accident proof. Magnets are not accident proof. Bags can be accident proof, but then they don't meet the other requirements. So whatever you do choose for concealed carry in the vehicle, it needs to be accident proof so you don't have a floating gun. Okay, so another awesome option I want to show you for sturdy. If you haven't seen it, this is the Tough Mount or something like that. I'll link this down in the description below, but this is by Ram Mounts. You can get it on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below, but it goes along with this holster here. So if you look at this Ram mount right here, basically it has a hand fastener. It comes off, it's got a ball on the holster right here, and then that ball interfaces with the different mounts. And so as that mount goes on there, it also goes on this thing right here. And so let me show you how this works. I'm gonna put this down. This shoves in between the seat. It's a wedge. It's a tough wedge. I think that's what it's called. It's like 99 bucks on Amazon. And then it has this like pressure cuff ball that you pump that to fill the void. Sometimes the wedge will just hold. Like you shove that down in the seat and that fills the void. And then you pump that up. And then you can kind of hide that down on the side. But it's a, if you don't want to drill into your car and you just want to have a mount for your gun that is close to you and quickly indexable, you can turn it any way you want to. If you wanted to get it lower down there, I'm just showing the camera what you can see. But you have a mount that's indexable and very sturdy. And that's by Ram Mounts. I'm not affiliated with them at all. But I will leave that link down in the description below. And so that's another consideration you might want to do is the Ram Tough Wedge, because it really works well in a bunch of different situations. You could put it over there in the passenger seat. You could even put it in the back seat or behind if you have somewhere to wedge it right here in between the seat and the console. And it works in a variety of situations. So you can check that out as well. Let me put this holster back where I like it. All right, so on to deadly mistake number 6. And for deadly mistake number 6, I'm going to use this blue gun. If you don't have a blue gun, it's a pretty good tool to use if you're training and you need to train. Obviously, if you're going to shoot out of your vehicle, you can't just get in your vehicle and start shooting. You're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to hurt someone you love, or you're going to hurt a bystander, or you're going to ruin your vehicle. And so blue guns are great training tools. So I'm going to put the real gun to the side for now. But deadly mistake number 6 is lack of training or not training at all, and you end up breaking the safety rules and you end up flagging yourself, or you end up flagging one of your passengers. And so if you're going to draw a gun from the holster in the car and you're going to use it, you need to be able to do that safely. So we know the 4 rules of firearm safety. Predominantly you want to keep your finger off the trigger, but always you want to keep this point in a safe direction. And so I know you guys earlier in the video, you said, hey, why do you take it off your body? Why do you take it off your person? Because I carry in the appendix position, but even if I carried in a strong side hip position, I want to show you in the appendix position, I have to flag myself to get that gun out of the holster. When I'm standing, I don't have to because my legs and my hips are out of the way. But when I'm in the vehicle, I have to flag myself. It is an inevitable consequence of carrying appendix or even strong side hip. Not so much strong side hip, but most likely you're going to sweep yourself coming out of that holster unless you train. So if you carry strong side hip and you train for it, you probably will not sweep yourself. But appendix, it's inevitable. And I carry appendix, and I like to carry an appendix. So that is another reason why I keep it in a holster off my body, secured to the vehicle, because I will not flag my own body. I will not flag my passenger. And then I practice, and when I come up, I'm not flagging my body at all. In a situation, I don't mind destroying my dash if I happen to have an accidental discharge, or if I happen to have a negligent discharge, and I don't mind destroying that. People, I do mind destroying if I'm not intending to destroy them. But that allows me to come up and point wherever I need to take care of business. So that is deadly mistake number 6. Always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. And don't flag your passengers and don't flag yourself, because you can't take a bullet back once it leaves the gun. All right, on to deadly mistake number 7. If you're forced to leave your vehicle, many times people have no way to safely and securely take it with them. Hopefully you got into the car with a holster and you did what I did earlier, And so you want to have a way to take it with you, and you should have your IWB with you where you can quickly conceal it. If you're forced to leave the vehicle, whether you end up in a mob situation or a riot situation or just a safety situation where you need to exit the vehicle but you need to take your gun with you, you need to have a way to take it with you. And so whether it's an IWB or whether you do have that off-body bag to take it with you, you want to have a means to take that firearm with you, and you want to have a means to be able to conceal that firearm once you get out of the vehicle. There are people out there, believe it or not, they don't carry on their person, but they carry in the car. But if you were forced to leave the car and you needed to take that gun with you, you need to have a way to take it with you. Don't leave it in the car for safety's sake. I cannot stress it enough. If you're going to use your gun and you want to have it available in the car, you have to train. So keep on training. All right, so I have one last thing I wanted to show you. I mentioned in the rifle video that I had a tailgate mod that I was doing. So come to the back of the vehicle and let me show you this. In the 4 reasons to carry a rifle in your truck, I introduced you to this unboxing of a tailgate mod. Well, I finished it, as you can see. This is the Hurricane Fabrications tailgate modification for the 100 Series Land Cruiser. Check this out. It's lockable, and it has push button switches for the locks, and you just open that up. And I have my California YouTube compliant rifle stored in the back, because this is what they want you to defend yourself with. So obviously this is not the rifle I had in mind when I created this storage, but this is the one that I'm allowed to show you on video. And then I wanted to also carry a set of plates in there in a carrier, and it gives me enough room to do that, to carry a rifle of this size and this caliber to defend myself. And it allows me to secure that and lock it up and keep it in the vehicle in a covert manner. As always, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for making the choice to defend yourself and those you love, and God bless you and yours.